here we are. We are loaded into the MWIII Rio in our Iron Premade finals here. This should be a good one again. Going to be a MWIII P1. The stuns and nades coming out early. It is just an absolute cluster here over at P1.
Yeah, cluster indeed. P1 is always going to be this way, but Chicago getting the upper hand for the time being. Breezy going to try to make sure that that doesn't stay the case, but Fizzy lifting drink. Finds three, is able to continue to hold on to point here for Chicago. Great start here for Chicago. Rotation is going to come up shortly.
And it is right now, I mean, just getting as much of this time on P1 as they can. The break finally does come in for Maui, though, and now you're seeing the rotation through the bottom side of the map here for Chicago. It's not going to be red, and Rupier does slip through for a moment, but they know Static is here waiting in the wings in the back of the map. The job right now, though, of Chicago to try to shut things down. Static does find one, and now he's going to try to play his life. So going to just be a pain in the side of Chicago right now. They have to deal with him.
Oh, got the close spawns too, so this is going to be overpowering here from Maui, but automatically Chicago answer back with a swift for dead, so they will hold on to this point and will start to accumulate more time, but Maui still getting the close spawn. Chicago appear to have the read on this. They have Fizzy in a great position to be able to call this out. Crazy Bill's going to take out Everlast from the gate. Static trying to break on through. Otherwise, around the way, everyone is just falling for Maui. Chicago continue to hold on. Crazy Pills goes on a 5, and Chicago are just getting the better of Maui, even though Maui have still secured the spawns.
And that's a good job by them of reading that spawn, because it can be tough in that situation, but they do read it. They read that Maui's getting that back spawn and are able to take them off of most of this time and really continue to grab it, as well as rotating over to that P3. So this has been a good run here from Chicago. Crazy Pill starting off 7-2 and just doing it really all for them right now. It looks like one off a streak as well.
One of a streak and probably going to play for here. A great point to do so. Can just basically hide away, wait for Maui to swing around the back. Try to get in this point and should be able to take care of business, and that will do it. Crazy Pills will find Static and will secure the cruise missile. 2 down for Maui already. About to be 3. Crazy trying to find this fight onto Breezy. Can't quite finish it off, but this is still good holds here for Chicago as they continue to chain these hills together. Maui just need to get together and break through from at least somewhere. They need to get together and do it, though. Going in one by one, like they're currently doing, is just not going to work.
Static does try to get through the back and get shots off, but not being able to do anything. He's kind of just alone right now and is going to try to go to the back of the map and wait for his teammates, but it is Chicago doing a good job of shutting these pushes down. And now doing the feed there for Maui. Is this their opening? It's going to be Long Dong, though. And Crazy Pills combining for 2. Static in the back will get traded out, and Chicago has a massive lead after the first 3 hills.
Long Dong, this is the very reason you made your name, so you can hear us call it out in the CRL Grand Final. So good for you for making it here and making great plays for us to be able to say Long Dong in Grand Finals. Just got to give you the big shouts there. But otherwise, over to P4 we go. Maui going to get that first time, but Rootbeer already going to cause a problem, but Breezy is going to solve that problem with a nice kill on top of that platform. So now this is the first secure hold that I've seen Maui have, but Crazy Pills going to try to do away with that. Has a little bit of help as well, but Maui is still holding on for the time being, but Long Dong Silver, who else, is starting to make the play in from the top, has some help, has the support, and now Chicago have the 100 points.
And Maui, this is a spot right now where you got to find a foothold sooner rather than later, because it is getting away early for you. Got to find a break here on this P4, and 2 players on hill. They can try to get in and pinch this, but they got to be quick, just wasting so much time. Already 15 seconds on the clock. They finally find the break, but with only 13 seconds left, what does it matter, as now it's going to be Chicago set up for P5 with a huge lead, and will look to grow it as Everlast does find one, and now his rotation kills very important for Maui as they're flying over.
And Maui have some numbers. They can work with this, but Fizzy is in such a good position to try to make a play. The turn on finds Breezy and shuts him down. Gonna look for Static as well onto the point, but Static does have help, but so does Chicago. They're gonna be able to clear out the play, and now we got a stalemate at the line, but Fizzy has broken through that line and taken one to go. Now Chicago, once again, a nice break and a nice hold here as they continue to extend their lead.
And all these reinforcements for Maui are gonna come to the front, and Chicago knows this. So they can just post up here on these headies with their ARs and shut this down. One player does sneak through to at least keep that time white, which is huge. And a big kill there on the Peach Schnapps. And once again, Chicago in this time. And I mean, Maui just has not been able to get a grip on this map right now. It just feels like every time they find a break, it's too late, and then the next hill is popping. 6 seconds once again. They'll collect the scrap time, but once again, Chicago is going to be in position here for this P1.
Yeah, and it doesn't even seem like the numbers ever matter for Maui. It seems like even when they have numbers going into the next point, they still just get broken on through, and it's going to be Peach Snaps with a striker out. Another off-meta weapon here being used as Peach Snaps is going to get taken out by Crazy Pills. Maui do get the first 15 seconds or so onto this P1, but Chicago's starting to group up once again for another push. Fizzy going to find the first kill. Static can answer, though. A little bit of a stalemate once again, but a breakthrough is there. The trades continue to keep Maui in possession of this time for the time being, and they should be able to hit this 100-point mark. Unless Chicago has anything to say about it. They are looking for a break. Just can't quite find it yet. This is the best Maui has looked so far, but now finally a break comes on through. Breezy trying to defend the point, but there's just nothing you could do when 3 members of Chicago are breaking into the point.
I mean, this is okay, though, if you're Maui, because you got yourself back into this game, and now you can set up for P2. I mean, really, prior to that P1, nothing was going well for them, but they actually did a really good job there to get some time. Still down over 50 points, though, Ooh. But you do have the setup. Watch the places back there from Longdong Silver. You got to find this player in the back. He's going to break this whole setup. Finds one, looking for a second. Doesn't matter. The teammate support comes in, and that's the break once again for Chicago.
Yeah, just another clean break. Everlast has the spawns here for Maui. They're going to spawn close, so they're going to just re-engage right away here, but they got to find these angles. It's going to be an over-the-top play out of Static, and that's going to work. A root beer going to come over the top and handle that. Chicago continue to hold. They're not on the time right now, but they basically have the position, so they just got to hop on this time and make sure they just make this one impossible to reach here for Maui. Maui still spawning close, but a bit of a split as well. Keep an eye on Breezy, who's going to come in through the back here. But, I mean, by the time he gets there, there's just going to be no one else from Maui left to do any type of damage. So Breezy just going to try to do what they can to break into this point. But there's really nothing you can do. One more break coming in from Static to cause some trouble. Get the rest of the scrap. But, I mean, 10 seconds is just not going to be enough to bring this one back.
And right now, Maui needs what they had similarly to that second P1. I mean, they just need another big money hill to go their way to get themselves inching closer. Chicago is nearing that 200-point mark. Root Beer is just frying right now and being a menace on the map. And Crazy Pills has that cruise in the back pocket. So this is looking pretty dire right now for Maui. They got themselves back into this game momentarily, but it's just been Chicago all over the kill feed and all in the time. And that's just really been the thing on Rio right now. They are just getting outslayed, Maui is, and it is hard to compete when that's happening.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, and Everlast, I don't know if you saw in the beginning of this, finally finding form, but it took them a while to get there. They were 0-10 at one point into the map, but it might be too little too late for them to do any work. But this is another good hold coming in out of Maui, but they got to make sure that they do hold, and they also get this rotation as well. But Chicago, I can't say Chicago today for some reason. I'm losing it over here. I'm losing my chops a little bit, Teach. But they are close to that 200-point mark here. So let's keep it on as well. But Maui might actually have the rotation for this, but Root Beer is able to catch one. I don't know exactly what they were looking for, but wasn't able to get the kill anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, Chicago, like, they were going through the top side of the map. Like, they forgot to rotate, and they just gave Maui a free rotation. Busy drink from the back, trying to get the pinch him, but he's taken down. This is a grave mistake right now from Chicago. I mean, they really weren't playing P3, but they also weren't playing the rotation. They were kind of just lollygagging their way up the map. The kills are coming in. Now Crazy Pill is going to have to use this cruise missile to try to get a kill here, and he does find one, but Maui has just considerably cut the deficit.
Yeah, they're within 20 points now, so now we have got ourselves a game here on Rio. Maui going to continue to hold on to this point, 20 seconds. It's going to be a race over for P5 here in a second. We're going to have to see who wins it. It might be 1v1, as you see. It's going to be Everlast getting into a gunfight with Fizzy, but Fizzy is going to win it. Bullets were not able to connect. Chicago remembering to rotate this time as they're able to get the scrap on the last hill, and there's at least 2 on the next with the flank coming in through the back. Maui got to be careful of this, and it looks like the comms are not going to come through, so Everlast is just going to be a victim of circumstance and is going to get taken out. So now Chicago finally remembering how to play Call of Duty for a second, and are going to look to put this one away.
And this is where Maui, you have to group up. You cannot do these 1v1 solo chows that they've had to start to still, because you need to break this. This is going to be a tough break indeed, as Chicago continuing to find these kills, and the mistake they made maybe does not matter. The spawn's flipped. Do they read this? The comm should be in, and now it is going to be looking over toward that P3 side, and 17 seconds away from taking this map 1. Does Maui have any magic left?
Probably not at all. Chicago finally found their form again that we saw in the beginning of the map. The bullets are flying, the points are going, and they are going to look to put this one away. It was looking dicey there for a second, but at the end of the day, Chicago will take over. They will take map 1.
And again, I mean, they make a big mistake there, and it almost cost them the map, but in the end, they really turned it around there on that P5, and you know, for what they did wrong on that P4, they did everything right on the P5, shut that down, and it was a really nice 2. Chicago leading 1-0 in the series.
And Chicago will be up 1-0, so like you said, Ty, must win here for Maui. High-rise search and destroy. Shots already being fired down that B alley side. Oh, that's over. Gonna enter with a nade. Fizzy gonna check the outside and is gonna find a striker on the outside. Another kill for Chicago, but Peach Snaps at least makes it interesting here. It's 3-2 man advantage here for Chicago. About a minute to go, but just like that, it's gonna be up to Peach Snaps. 1v3 situation here for Maui. Sees one player while standing on top of Propane. Gonna try to take him down. Does so. Has the 1v2 situation now to deal with. Gonna not check the AC. Gonna get taken out. Chicago hunted up on the board first.
And pretty easy round there for Chicago, just picking them off one by one. Again, if you're Maui, what's the game plan here? We got to start making plays and, you know, working up the street if you're going to go beat street as a team, or working under as a team, and they just made it way too easy there to get picked off. Nice start there for Chicago as they keep things rolling. And now, with Maui on the defensive side, they'll look to replicate what Chicago just did to them.
Attacking side here for Chicago. Nice little statement win if they're able to get this done here on offense. Let's see what they decide to do first. Typical setup for everybody at the time being. Shots being fired. Grenade is going to find a kill, though, onto Breezy. So Chicago already with a player advantage. Snaps is going to answer with 1. Tries to make it 2, but can't line up the reticle and can't get it done as AW Root Beer going to find that kill. 3-2 situation for Chicago once again.
Fizzy has just been able to walk through as well and finds the player, and Static will be able to take him down. I mean, just holes in the defense right now. Everlast is going to find that kill as well, but there it is! The staple of high rise. You knew it was going to happen once. Maui falls victim to Chicago.
God, that wasn't even listed as a kill for somebody. That was a pure suicide. That is what that came up on the kill feed as. That blew up, and the only person to shoot it was, I guess, that player. Oh, my goodness gracious. I mean, I was curious, man. I was curious if they were prepared for it, but I guess you're not prepared to kill yourself with the propane tank. You're kind of used to another player doing enough damage to it to take you out, but that is just a rough way to lose the round. I mean, not like they had a ton of hope. No offense to them going into that, but it was a 1v3. So
just, you know, it's going to come into play at some point. Static finding the first blood there for Maui, and I like this. They're getting the bomb down quick. They're putting the pressure on as Root Beer does find that kill, but bomb down and man advantage here for Maui. Let's see if the retake comes in. Chumps has a nice angle on the player now going top heli. He just got to stay alive. Going to be Breezy with 1. Fizzy last up, he's taken down. Nice round from out, and that's what they have to do. They have to have a commitment to one of the sites, make plays right there. They got right on in and took advantage of a little bit of a laid-back defense. And again, just put the pressure on the other side for once.
Yeah, a commitment, but also aggression, right? Forcing the fight. Like, I think they're starting to realize that the positioning of Chicago is where they're the most strong, right? So why play a position battle when you can just force the issue? Let's just force the fight now. I mean, we're talking about these bomb sites being in more or less confined spaces, or at the very least to get there, right? So you might as well just force the mosh pit and see who comes out on top. And that was exactly what Maui did. They were able to force the plant. Chicago panicked a little. They weren't ready in the right position. Maui was. And ultimately, we're able to take that round. So good answer back. As Chicago now on offense. Static is going to find another first blood here for Maui as they start to move on up. And man, they're just getting more aggressive. They have pushed all the way through blue and are just shoving Chicago right back into spawn. Long Dong Silver going to try to put a stop to it, but Peach Snaps is still working their way around, but gets really bad timing and is going to get taken out. So now all of a sudden, a 4v2 becomes a 2v2.
And while I love their aggression there, it actually kind of works against them in that moment. But they do have an idea of where these players are, so they're going to try to get them. And let's see what the timing is. Everlast now kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's see if his teammate can help him out here. So I think they know this player with the bomb should know he's in there, but maybe not. Root Beer not checking behind him. They have to know he's in there, right? And now the flank route coming in from under. So this gets really, really tricky right now for Maui. Let's see what timing Long Don gets. But, I mean, this is one of those just ships passing in the night situation. They still haven't cleared that elevator. Did they not know he's here? They finally do.
Wow.
Everlast, though, finding the kill. Now a 1v2.
Man, I would have just played life, but the Chow is successful there for Maui with the bomb down. Kind of a weird one. I mean, I was wondering why they weren't planning either. Like, the flank was fine.
Yeah, I don't know if a comm didn't come in, but you have a guy pinned in an elevator he cannot get out of, and they just left him. And it's going to really ruin their round there. He could have got it down to a 1v2, but nevertheless, it's going to be another round on the board for Maui. They even this one up.
This is good stuff here from Maui. Just being a bit of a nuisance right now towards Chicago. Chicago not getting as easy as a matchup as they would have thought. Remember, this is their map pick. Fifth man already making some noise. I can hear it in my left side of my ears. Some shots being fired. No kills as of yet. Maui still continuing to work their way up onto B. Roop here, though. I think caught a sight of Everlast. Not totally sure, but regardless, Everlast will get this bomb down while Static falls. Beach Shot's going to fall as well. 4v2 scenario here for Chicago on the retake, but Breezy does answer back. Everlast going to try to make a move on his player top heli, but the timing is just going to be terrible as Crazy Pills is going to come from behind and get the defuse here. Chicago back on the board to regain their lead.
And that's a scenario where maybe they almost got a little bit too aggressive. Like, they get that bomb down, but the numbers aren't in their favor, and they're kind of just confined to one area where they can just be picked off by the Chicago Hunter players. They get it down to a 4v2, and they know these players are going to be in and around the bomb site. Great spills, nice kill there, gets the defuse, and they retake the lead.
Yeah, for Chicago, you take that. You take that right now. Get a little bit of control back left in you. And again, you notice that was another kind of positional battle where everyone just kind of met at the 50 and started to fire away, and ultimately longevity helped Chicago over Maui. Even though Maui did get the bomb down, they just kind of used all the resources just to even get there in that moment and weren't able to do much else after the fact. Would love to see them be more aggressive to kind of give Chicago a run for their money. Everlast has that idea, though. Trying to hop onto AC. He's going to get put down to 8 HP. But a trade comes in to make it 3v3. And now everyone at a standstill.
Yeah, Everlast, I feel like trying to make a play and almost got caught, but does get out with his life. And now Static is going to try to make an aggressive play, but he gets taken down.
Yikes.
And now, I mean, it is just falling apart right now for Maui. I feel like they're just having a hard time finding a balance of wanting to be aggressive and making plays, and then also playing it smart. There's been a couple times where they're just throwing their bodies into danger. Crazy Pills is gonna don't do it.
No, not like this.
No,
not in the finals.
But then you gotta get the kill. Oh goodness gracious, that would have been a moment of all time if he got turned on right there. But he does get the kill in Chicago. Now up 4-2. Swing around coming up.
I love moments like that because you can see when the thought hit their head.
The gears are turning.
Yeah, they aimed in like, why shoot when I can just assassinate?
Yeah.
And just tried to make the play. Almost got turned on, though. So, lesson, kids. If you're going to do an assassination, make sure you actually can do it instead of putting yourself in a weird position where you almost get turned on stream in the grand finals. You don't want that to happen to you. I've been there. It sucks.
You're really even looking on the side of Maui for, like, Search and Destroy. They're just also having a hard time finding kills in this mode as well. And Long Dong might just walk right up B Street, which he will. Does find one, gets traded out, but the advantage still the way of Chicago at this point in time. 3v2, bomb down. And AW Root Beer is going to perch up and see that player. P-Schnops does find one, though, on a Crazy Pills. But you have both these players backed up in the spawn and just trying to find a way out, which it looks like they might. What a nade! As now Root Beer has to back down, and he might get traded out. What is the timing here? As Pete Schnops doesn't see him. This is an unbelievable round.
As Teach timing at its finest, but the swing around appears to still be in Chicago's favor. Maybe not. Breezy able to get the kill. It's a little bit windy on top of a building. It's a bit tough to hit your shots, but now it's up to Vizzy lifting drink here. 1v2 situation. Bomb still does need to get planted, but Breezy with the bomb. You gotta try to make a play here. Can't find the kill, though. 21 seconds. Coming out with the Renetti. Knows where this player is. Is going to opt for the plant onto A, I guess. What? They're not getting the bomb down? I'm not totally sure what's happening right now. 9 seconds of clock. Gonna have to be forced to plant. And I think this timing is going to work in Fizzy's favor because he knows what the timing is going to be. And now it's just a freeze kill. Oh, no! Wait. No. Please, Breezy. Breezy going to run away from this one. The shots were just not there. So now 1v1, a true 1v1, and Breezy went so winning. Oh, and Fizzy makes up for it. Iron Premade at its finest. And Chicago are going to bring us to map point with a defuse.
Oh, that was tough. But, I mean, Fizzy in the end does get the kill. But what a wild round there. My goodness. Somebody get a tent for this circus.
I kind of lost. I lost all sense of casting there for a second. I was a fan for a minute. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The timing was so perfect, and Fizzy still couldn't find that kill, and had to really grind and work for it when they really didn't have to. Just incredible stuff out of the Iron Premade division. But as I said, Chicago on map point here, 5-2 up. Peach Chumps trying to make a play on the outside, not gonna be able to. He's gonna have help. Crazy Pill's gonna find one. Breezy gonna be left to kind of handle the mess. Does get a grenade kill, but does get traded out as well. Bomb was not planted, but it's all of a sudden down to Everlast and a 1v3 to keep the map alive, and does so for the time being as they find the kill into Root Beer. Has to regain health, though. Knows there's at least one player nearby. Ooh, does find the second, and now a 1v1 once again with Fizzy, and might have gotten the spot, but not the shot. And Chicago Hunted are going to take map 2, and they will bring this series to series points.
That got a little messy in the end, I think we can all agree. And it is going to be Chicago coming out on top, but it wasn't for a lack of...
Chicago up 2-0 in the series, looking to claim the championship right here. It's Karate Control. Maui need to find an answer, and they need to find it yesterday. But here we go. Chicago starting out on offense.
Chicago is starting on offense, which I think they're going to like. You can kind of set the tone to what the series has already been. And, yeah, you're seeing it already. The kills just completely going their way. And they're going to stick on this A point and just lock this in. There was a chance maybe to rotate over to B and really put the pressure on early. But we got a guy in a purple fuzzy suit running around. I don't know what's happening, but not even that can save Maui right now.
No, indeed cannot. Chicago make very easy work of that 8 point, only losing about a life. And now a second one in the process. Over to B we go, and Peach Knops is already like, well, I'm just going to hole up in here and cause some problems. Breezy, good job watching the spawn there. Continues to get those close dumpster spawns so that no one is going to be wrapping around here for Chicago. But Chicago going to be methodical about this. Everlast going to be causing problems underneath. I don't think they heard the door. I don't know how you didn't hear that, but Crazy Pills doesn't check the corner and will pay for the consequences. So Everlast making out like a bandit there on that one. A good couple of kills to maintain their defensive structure, but Root Beer might have found a route, and I don't know if now he's going to pick up on the fact that they are wrapping through from behind.
I think at some point they're going to realize they're missing somebody, but they haven't done so yet, and these kills are coming through the front. This is where it gets bad. It's a big kill, though, right there for the side of Maui. Because he's just going to wait as long as he can. The problem is his teammates are dying around him. If they get 1 or 2 kills, should be able to find this. But they do not. Now I think number 7, Everlast kind of knows something's going on. They haven't found Root Beer in a while. Now they know he's there. They're going to try to converge on him and take him down, which should do just that. Nothing doing right now on the side of B for Chicago.
Yeah, Peach on a 5. Should look to play for this, honestly, in case you need a Hail Mary with that cruise missile. So good to just kind of hang tight and let Chicago come to you. Even if you lose this round, getting that cruise missile would be good for the future of the map. Chicago finally finding a hole to punch on through here. Lives are just about even, though, so not a lot of room to work with, but certainly there. Big read there coming from Fizzy. And now all of a sudden, 3 are down, and Peach Chops is going to fall. I don't know if they got the cruise missile. I think they did. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. But Chicago have an open spot to start taking B, and now they finally do, and they are playing this perfectly with the spawns. Long Dong Silver pushed up far, and look how far away Maui are spawning by B.
They're not stacking this, though, so it's actually going to let Maui get back in. If they were able to cut off those reinforcements, that's not an issue, but they let some get through, they break the point, and now nothing has been done capture-wise, but the lives for Maui are starting to go, and you got to be careful of that with 27 seconds left. You got to find the kill in the hill. Everlast does. Gonna get traded out, though. 23 seconds on the clock. They will, but this is where the problem is. You're going to all be spawning on this back dumpster alley. You can stack this point and try to just lock this one up.
I mean, another saying goes here at the chiropractor, you got to stack the point. Word to gyms, and Chicago just not doing that. And I think it's costing them right now. Breezy now has a way through the back, and Peach Chops is able to follow up with another kill. So now one more player to kill inside of the point. Fizzy is going to find them. I'm sorry, there is actually two inside of the point. It's going to be Fizzy and Root Beer starting to dwindle away. Now one more player finally to kill, and they will do so. But Chicago right back into the thick of it here. Find one kill, have to find another, though. They do have to get the break in, and Crazy Pills does so. 18 seconds on the clock, and buying enough time for the reinforcements to come on through. But Crazy Pills does not go down. They will get the round, but it was not by ticks. They were able to get the elimination, so that will be a +5 going into the second round.
Yeah, nice little two-piece there to end it for Crazy Pills, who's just done everything in this series for the side of Chicago, and that's a nice round for them as they continue this momentum. And that kind of felt like the dagger. I'm not going to lie. If Maui comes back from this one, I mean, power to them. But Chicago win that there when there's a chance for maybe Maui to hold on. And just the way this series has gone, you got to feel really, really good if you're on the side of Chicago.
Yeah, attack round. Gonna feel real good. And Crazy Pills gonna meet the end of a grenade there. Nice start here for Maui. They're gonna hop onto that A site, but they just can't get the other follow-ups here. They will get that first tick in the meantime. Do still have numbers to work with. They're gonna try to kill Chicago off of spawn. Breezy, I am begging you to finish that kill, brother. Crazy Pills gonna try to do some extra damage. Not gonna be able to in the meantime. Second tick still going down here on the A side. Should be able to do so, but look at Everlast. Number 7 on Jermaine has snuck on over to B and is starting to make some progress over there as well. So Chicago probably are going to have to make a choice here, but Everlast is going to at the very least get away with one tick on B.
Looks like he will. There you go. I mean, that's big right now for Maui. And again, as you said, Chicago has to make a decision now. They will break in and cut that down, but you get that tick on B, and that's going to be really important as 2 minutes on the clock, over 2 minutes on the clock. And as I said, it only takes 1, 3, or 4 down for the offense to be able to move in and get on that zone and make it very, very uncomfortable for the defensive side. So that's what Maui needs to look to do. They need to look to group up and make a play to be able to get, 1, 2, 3 down and just continue to do it. But they're just getting shut down and now getting sent back to those deep, deep spawns.
Yeah, and the other thing to remember, too, is, I mean, they have a lot of time to do this. They don't need to throw away their lives like they're currently doing. You don't need to die this much. You know Chicago has the setup. There is no point in trying to just throw your lives away. Just try to group up and make your coordinated pushes. You have so much time and energy to make these plays happen. And now, finally, the hole gets broken towards the back, but the heady is going to prove to be too powerful there for Static as 2 more players once again go down. Pack stance kill here for Peach Snobs, but going to be caught reloading over by the bus. And once again, a reset here for Maui. 16 lives, and that time that they had so much of in the beginning, now starting to dwindle away.
Crazy Pills does get shredded out because he was going to be a nuisance. But yeah, I mean, if you're on the defensive side, there was a chance to maybe push up the map. I will say for the side of Chicago, they've played this pretty passively. And if they start going down, that could be an issue as now the kills are coming in. And watch the wrap here from Everlast. Coming through the back, trying to find the kill through the smokes, but actually gives his position away and not finding a kill. They're trying to find this player off spawn. He's taken down, and just like that, any promise that Maui just had is completely shut down.
40 seconds to go here, and Chicago just putting up the brick wall, and Root Beer is extending that wall over towards the junk side right now. Gonna find Peach Stops. I don't know how you didn't know he was there. You know that 2 went down off rip, and Root Beer with the Renee just feeling themselves. Trying to make the play, but not able to, but did enough damage. 6 lives. Now going to be 5 likely here. 14-6, 17 on the clock. Maui have put themselves in a position where they are at risk of losing the whole thing. 10 seconds on the clock. They are just dwindling apart. One final push here. 3 players up, but I mean, my goodness gracious, Fizzy is just tearing them down, and so is Root Beer. That will do it, and all of a sudden, championship point here for Chicago Hunted.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, look at the second half of that round, and it felt like the wind was completely out of the sail of Maui on this one. They're just kind of getting outslayed right now, and it feels like every time there's an opportunity for them to maybe get themselves into the point, they were shut down, and it just feels like Chicago is destined in this one. They've been playing well throughout this whole series. And, I mean, you can't see it on the KDs up top, but they are, once again, absolutely frying and making Maui's life very difficult.
For what it's worth, one tick up is Chicago. So even if Maui do find it within themselves to take a round and get themselves on the board, they have a lot of work to do to try to bring this one to a round 5, which they certainly need at this point. Just are here for Chicago onto A, just being a bit of a problem. Gonna get this first tick onto A likely here. Crazy Pills. Falling off. I thought they were headed B for a second, but is gonna continue to make the push onto A. But a couple of kills keep Chicago in control. Fizzy, one off of the cruise. Will probably play for it. First tick finally brought down here on that A site. Fizzy continuing to do the work alongside Crazy Pills. Crazy Pills gonna defend the back. Fizzy on the front. But all of Chicago now there, and this is going to be yet another easy A-cap, but take a look. Once again, a rotation, but this time it's from Chicago. AW Root Beer is on B, and is starting to make progress on that first tick.
He's just going to be able to sit back here and find all these kills in the alley, especially when you're teammating yourself in the back alley, and this one should really be done and dusted. Maybe a last gasp here for Maui, but it's so hard to get into this time. They do find the kill there, and for the moment, Chicago will stay out of the time, but it just feels like it honestly is a matter of time right now with the way they're playing, and Maui just not able to really formulate anything.
No, not at all. Chicago now grouping together, doing what they're supposed to do on this map, grouping together, finding the hole and punching on through. They are looking for Everlast. They know Everlast is missing over to the backside. Maybe they don't. I thought they were grouping up to go back there, but no. They're going to work on the way. Everlast has no idea that everybody's already spawned up. Now all of Chicago is going to be pushed up onto that B side, but luckily Static is going to put an end to it. So now Everlast is going to be in a good position to cut off the spawn, but all of a sudden everybody's down at B once again, and AW Root Beer, Long Dong Silver are going to be hopping onto this point here in a second.
And Long Don knows that this pinch is going to be coming in. The kill is there. Yes, it is. And that should do it. As all these players are going to be coming off the spawn trying to get in, but Chicago is going to shut it down, and they should be champions.
Chicago hunted. Looking to be Iron Premade champions right here, but Peach Snaps keeps it alive for the moment. Third tick was on its last sliver, but it wasn't able to come on through, so still a little bit of work to do here for Chicago to take home the gold. They're going to try to find a way through the backside here. AW Root Beer is going to find one, going to open things up. The reinforcements for Chicago are not there, but AW might not need them. The timing is just working so well for Root Beer right now. Going to look for Peach Stops, not able to get that kill. Long Don Silver with a follow-up there, but Maui have actually regained control of this B point for the time being, but one break can seal it here because you got to keep an eye on that life counter too.
Yeah, I mean, they basically have to go flawless here. Hey, that's one way to do it. 3 down, and Long Don in the back. Those find one. We're trying to stay up for as long as he can before he's taken down. Lives
no
10
respawn.
to 5, yeah. The respawns left, and this is what it comes down to. You hear the crews coming in as well, and Maui somehow hold on.
Oh, I thought that was getting too easily, but now 9-3, and the contest comes on in. Crazy Bills is trying to find Static, does so. They are about to ring the bell here momentarily. It's up to Everlast, but they will go down, and Chicago hunted are your Iron Premade MW3 Spring Champions.
Just absolute dominance in this series. Really, you know, after that little miscue in that map 1, they did not look back. Were dominant in really